Alright friends, so today we're going over surface area of triangular prisms and pyramids. I'm going to try to get through this page quickly so that we can do the other page that is practicing. There are two types of surface area for prisms and pyramids, okay? Now, lateral surface area is going to be area of only the faces of a 3D figure, okay? Whereas total surface area, now remember here we can write faces only, no bases, okay? Now total surface area is area of all faces and bases of 3D figures, okay? This is going to be faces and bases, okay? All right, bases, we are talking about just the triangular, okay? A base for a prism, there's two. And in a pyramid, there is only one. This is the same as rectangular prisms and pyramids. Okay, now face is just a side, remember, and on triangular prisms and pyramids, there is going to be three on each side. Now let's think about this. We have a triangle base, and each side has to have a face touching it, okay? All right, so here, a net is just a 2D composite figure. It's if we were to take that prism and open it up so that you can see all the pieces that make it up, okay? All right, now this is a triangular prism. And if we're looking at the bases, here are the bases, okay, which is these. And here are the faces. Now the face is going to be one here, one on the other side, and one on the bottom, okay? It's all of these right here, okay? So base here, and all of these are the faces, okay? All right, let's look at triangular pyramid. All right, so for the triangular pyramid, you have the base, which is right here. That's this piece right here. Then you have the faces. Here's one face, here's another face, and the other face is on the other side, okay? So 1, 2, 3, okay? All right, so here, base, face here, and face here. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next page. All right, so here on this one, this is triangular prism practice, okay? The first thing that I want to do is I want to take a look at what shapes I have to know what formulas I need to use, okay? I see rectangles and I see triangles. So the triangle is going to need to use area is equal to 1/2 base times height. And the rectangle needs area is equal to base times height. There, I have the two formulas that I'm going to use, okay? Let's move this. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so here, let's continue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. There is two bases in a prism. It has three faces, okay? So here, let's look at our figure. I'm going to look at the dimensions first, and then I'm going to decide if I have all one rectangle or if I have two different rectangles or three, okay? So I know that this side is 10, so this side over here is also going to be 10, okay? The bottom rectangle also has 10 on one side, so the other side is going to be 10, okay? If you look at the middle rectangle, it's an 8 by 12. The height is 8. That means this side is also going to be 8. The base is 12, which means this side is also going to be 12, which means that these other sides are going to be 12, okay? All the middle is 12 for the base. All right, now let's look at the height of the triangle, which is an 8. That means this is 8, okay? So now we have all that figured out. Now, these are the bases, okay? And if I look at the top rectangle, it's a 10 by 12, okay? The middle rectangle is an 8 by 12. It doesn't match that, but the bottom rectangle is also a 10 by 12. So we have 2 of those, and we have one that is 8 by 12, okay? So in our T-chart, instead of trying to label like A, B, C, or D, we're going to use the actual dimensions in our information that we're doing, okay? I'm going to start off with the triangle. The triangle, there's 2 of them. This is the base, so I'm going to write times 2, okay? Now, for the, let me move this a little. Let me write this down first. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. I think that's good. Okay, so here, all right, in the rectangles, we have the first one, the top one, that is a 10 by 12. There is 2 of those, so I'm going to write times 2. And then I have the singular one that is an 8 by 12, okay? And then I would have total here, okay? So now that we've got that going, okay, I do want to mention that this is the base, and these 2, whatever we do in here, is going to be the lateral, okay? All right, so area is equal to 1/2 the base times the base, which is 8, times the height of the triangle, which is 8, okay? Area is equal to 1/2. 8 times 8 is 64. And then half of 64 is going to be 32. Now, that means that my triangle, the area of one triangle is 32, so this is 32 here. Now, if we want to know the area of both of them together, we can either add them or we can multiply by 2. That's why I write times 2 here, okay? That would be 64 centimeters squared. So I'm done with the base, okay? All right, now let's look at the first rectangle, the 10 by 12 rectangle. Area is equal to base times height. The top rectangle is 10 by 12, which is just 120. Now that means that this is 120 and this is 120. So what can we do? We can either add them or we can multiply by 2. So this would be 240 centimeters squared. I'm done with that piece, okay? And then over here, I'm going to do area is equal to 1/2 base, no, not 1/2, hello, base times height. There you go. All right, 8 times 12. And if I do 8 times 12, I'm going to do that over here. That would be 8 times 2, which is 16. 8 plus 1 is 96. So area is equal to 96. And there's only one of these, so I'm done with this one. Okay, now, remember I said that the part that I do in the middle is the lateral. So let's come over here before I finish my last part of my T-chart. Lateral surface area is only faces, no bases. So going back to this, remember 12 by 8, we got 96. That means this is 96 here, okay? Faces is only this part right here. You're adding all of those up together, okay? So here you can either go by what you have if you're just finding each part, okay? So 120 plus 120 plus 96. Or if you did the T-chart like I did, all you have to do is 240 plus 96, which would give us 336 centimeters squared, okay? That is lateral surface area. These two added together would be 336 centimeters squared, okay? Now, for the total is all of it, okay? It is faces and bases, okay? So what we're doing is we are taking that 336. Now, hold on. If you are just looking at the shape and you have written all of the individual areas to it, you would do 120 plus 120 plus 96 plus 32 plus 32. And you would add all of that together to get your answer, right? Or you could just do 336 plus 64. 10 again, 400 centimeters squared. Okay, done. All right, same thing over here. If you're doing the T-chart, you're already going to go ahead and do all of that part, right? Because most of these questions are just going to ask for area. So all you're going to do is do 240 plus 96 plus 64, and you're doing the same thing. You're adding, you're getting your answer. Done. Okay. All right, so let's go, pause if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and move to triangular pyramid practice. Okay, so in the triangle, okay, looking at the shapes that we need, it looks like we only need a triangle, the formula for a triangle, which would be area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Okay, now again, remember, this one is a pyramid. It only has one base. It still has 3 faces. Okay, so let's take a look at the dimensions of it. Okay, so if I'm looking at it and if I highlight, this is my base and these 3 are my faces. Okay, so the base is going to be the same on each one of them, 6. Okay, the height is also going to be the same on all of them. It's going to be 5. Okay, it looks like they're all the same. If you see that there is one triangle that has all the information and the rest of them don't, it's because they're all the same. Okay, so here I am going to try to do the T-chart, okay, but here we're going to do it a little bit different. This is the base. It is a triangle, okay, so I'm going to do that, and then we're going to do faces, which this is the lateral, remember? And this is going to be a triangle times 3, and then the total. Okay, so again, area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Area is equal to 1/2. Now I know if I look at the triangle, base is going to be 6 and height is going to be 5. So 6 times 5 is 30. So now I have 1/2 times 30. And then half of 30 is going to be 15, and that would be 15 inches squared. I have found the area of just the base. So this is going to be 15. But remember, they're all the same. So what happens? All of these are going to be 15 as well. Okay, so what can we do for the face? To just find the faces, we can take 15 times 3. So that would be 45 inches squared for the faces or the lateral, okay? So going back to these bottoms over here, this is faces only, no bases, okay? That means you're going to do 15 plus 15 plus 15, or 15 times 3. That would be 45 inches squared. That was terrible. That was terrible too. There we go. Okay, 45 inches squared. So now, total surface area is all, okay? That is going to be faces and bases, okay? That means you're taking the 45 that we've already found, plus the base, okay? And that would be 60 inches squared. Doing the same thing over here. 45, 15, it would be 60 inches squared. And you're done, okay? All right, pause if you need to. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a couple of extra questions on the homework that we did, okay? Again, pause if you need to. All right, so here, we're going to look at the first one, okay? First thing I want to do is I want to determine what type of shapes I have. I see that I have I have the base, and I have 3 faces, okay? Okay, so it's only giving me information for literally like maybe one of them, full information. It gives me the height for one. That means that all of them are going to have the same height of 7 and the same base. So I'm only finding the area of one triangle. So here, if we do our T-chart, we have the area of one triangle. Okay, this is the base. And then we're finding the area of the other three. These are the faces. And we have total. Okay, so area of the base, of the triangle base. Okay, we are doing area is equal to 1/2 base times height. 1/2, the base is 8 and the height is 7. I know that 8 times 7 is 56. And so then all I have to do is find half of 56, which is going to be 28. So area is equal to 28 centimeters squared. Okay, so this is the base. Okay, that means if I write it in here, this is 28. Okay, now if I'm doing the faces, I'm still taking, remember they're all the same, I'm going to take the area of one triangle and I'm going to multiply it by 3 because there is only 3 faces. So 8 times 3 is going to be 24, and that is going to be 84. So here, let me just check it to make sure. Yes, so 84 centimeters squared. Okay, this is lateral surface area. Okay, but we are trying to find total surface area, so we're going to take the lateral, which is the faces, and we're going to add that to the base. So now 84 plus 28, this would be 12 and 11. So we get 112 centimeters squared. So our final answer is going to be 112 centimeters squared. Okay. All right, we're not going to do number 2 because it does require a ruler that has centimeters, and I currently don't have that. Okay. So we're actually going to do number 4. Okay. Pause if you need to, and then go to number 4. All right, so number 4. First thing I want to do is I want to determine what formulas I'm going to use. I know I'm going to be using area is equal to 1/2 base times height because that's a triangle. And I need the area of a rectangle, which is base times height. Okay, there, got it. So now I'm going to find the dimensions of all the sides next, okay? So here, if this side is 10, that means this side is 10 too. So I'm going to write that down, okay? Now, if this side, we don't need the side other than to tell us that when it touches this side, that means this side is also going to be 10. Okay, and if that side is 10, this side is 10, which means this side is 10 of the triangle, this of the triangle is 10. That means this is 10 and this is 10. Now, if this is 2, this is 2 over here. Okay, we have all of the dimensions, okay? So now, let me go ahead and look and see. Am I going to have 2 or am I going to have all one of the same triangle? So, or rectangle. I see that this right here is a 2 by 10. This is also a 2 by 10. And I know that because these should be 2. Okay. And then this is also a 2 by 10. So I have just one rectangle, one type of rectangle, and one type of triangle. Okay. So we can go ahead and do our T-chart. Okay, so here, this is the base. Okay, and it's a triangle, so I'm going to do area is equal to 1/2 base times height. If I look at the triangle, this is my base, and this is my height, which is 9. This one over here is also going to be the same thing. It just doesn't say it. Okay, but it is. So here, it is going to be base of 10 times 9. Now, 10 times 9 is 90. And now I just have to find half of 90. 2 can go into 9 4 times, which would be 8. And then into 10 5 times. So it would be 45. Let me write that. Hold on. Let me fix this. Okay. Area is equal to 45 inches squared. So that is a prism, this is a prism. Now remember, in a prism, we have 2 bases, okay? So this is going to be times 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 90. So it is going to be 90 inches squared, okay? Now, let's go to the rectangle. Oh, stop doing that to me. Okay, it's going to be a 2 by 10, okay? And this is times 3 because there's 3 of them, okay? All right, so area is equal to base times height. It would be 2 times 10. Now, 2 times 10 is going to be 20. That's 1. So if I come back over here and I write all of these, this one, remember, was 45, 45, okay? And these are going to be 20 each. Okay, so we can either add them, or we can do what I'm going to do here and just multiply by 3, 0, and 60. So 60 inches squared is the lateral surface area. Remember, this part is the lateral surface area. Okay, so now for total, we are going to add the 60 plus the 90. Okay, and that is going to be 150 inches squared. This is our final answer, okay? So that means our final answer is going to be 150 inches squared. Okay, I hope that this has helped. Remember, you don't have to use the T-chart, but what I do expect to see is to see formula charts, okay? If you are doing all your work without showing the formula chart, you're going to get really lost in all of this, okay? I hope that this has helped. Come back for the next set of the notes. Bye.